What up, folks? It's me. Need some cheesecake. Just a little update on this carpal tunnel, cubital tunnel situation. So I was supposed to be having surgery tomorrow. That's not happening. I think in the last video, I was telling y'all about how my insurance denied the pre-approval, and if I didn't, let me tell you. So August 2nd, got a phone call from the insurance saying that, hey, we got this thing in from your doctor. We just want to let you know that your pre-approval for your carpal tunnel release, ulnar nerve transposition surgery has been denied. The short end is that there wasn't enough conservative approaches done prior, or I forget how exactly it was worded, but basically there wasn't enough prior treatments over the course of a year in a 3-month span that had been tried and failed. So that's essentially why they denied the pre-approval. So the call saying I'm gonna send a letter. We'll send a letter to the doctor. Cool. At the time, your doctor can do a peer-to-peer. Basically, my doctor will call the insurance's doctor that they have on staff and talk about the necessity of me having the surgery and get it approved. So let's fast forward, say, a week. I get my letter that following Sunday that following Saturday after the phone call. That Monday, I call the doctor's office, I called them the same day I got the phone call and told them what happened. They said, just, we'll be looking for the letter because they're going to send one. And then just call back if you hadn't heard anything from us. So I called back the next week, was just checking in, following up. Got my letter. They still hadn't received the letter. I was like, okay. Then so they told me just bring my copy of the letter up and they can put it on the file, and then the doctor will be able to do a peer-to-peer. This was last week. Yeah, it was last Wednesday, a week ago. So I did that, and still waiting. Meanwhile, I had already done my surgery pre-op stuff, questionnaire and all that. So I was basically set. As far as work, since I teach, I had to get a sub. Had a sub for the whole week that I was going to be out. Boom, bap, boom. Everything's taken care of on my end. I'm just waiting. Hear back about peer-to-peer, whether or not my doctor was able to get the surgery approved to be done. So called Monday. They called me back on Tuesday, left me a message. I took the letter up there on Wednesday, followed up on Thursday? Maybe Friday. I think it was Friday, yeah. Didn't hear anything. Had some questions about, the things I need to do for pre-op. Anyway, so I called yesterday, talked to the surgery nurse, because just really wanted to see whether or not they still had the surgery on the books, and because it's 2 different offices, I think. One same doctor, but 2 different modes of operation. Anyway, I'm still on the books for surgery. Still hadn't heard anything about the insurance stuff. So this is Monday. Call back the doctor's office yesterday. Waiting. So today they called me back, talking to, I think it was one of his PAs. I talked to him before. I think he was originally the one that put me on schedule for surgery. So real nice and always, very helpful. Basically told me that the doctor did the peer-to-peer and the insurance was still denying it because there wasn't enough conservative approaches prior to surgery. So, long story short, on that end, no surgery, rescheduled for September. Only way I would be able to do the surgery tomorrow as scheduled is if I pay for it out of pocket. Which, I don't know what it looks like. So I asked him how much it was. It's not his scope of responsibility. My doctor's PA doesn't handle billing, so he can't tell me how much surgery is going to cost. But said he's going to put in a request for me. See if they can get those numbers to me, and we can plan going forward. So now I'm talking to him. He was just kind of talking me through, the whole deal, how everything went down. And my biggest question was, my doctor and his peer-to-peer. My doctor is a specialist, a microsurgeon, basically an expert in the field of hand, wrist, arm surgeries. Like, that's what he does. That's his thing. Like, he's well versed in it. 4.9 out of 5 stars, basically on every outlet that a doctor can be reviewed. Like, he's the best around, probably one of the best in the country, easily. This specialist, who has handled many cases like this, who can look at my test. I had an ENG, so a nerve conduction. I think it's conduction. A nerve test done. Who can look at my test results and says, we can try these conservative measures, but they're not going to work. Like, the nerve damage is too far gone, and you're already experiencing muscle atrophy in your hands. Surgery is going to be the best bet. Who knows all this based on knowing my symptoms and my test results, tells me what I need, tells the doctors why I need this, and they still deny it. I'm good. I don't understand how the health system works. So yeah, I'm basically back at square one. The interim, I could do some injections in the left arm that was going to be left wrist arm to see if they work. I mean, it's a possibility that they could help alleviate the symptoms, coupled with probably some therapy or some at-home exercises. It could be on the mend, but it's not a guarantee that it will fix. I mean, it could get me over a hump if I had like a string of gigs. I don't have that because I canceled everything that required me to use my hands from September to November, or I either canceled it or I didn't book it because I thought I was going to be having surgery and potentially still be recovering, not knowing what, my return time was going to look like, or what my hand strength, or what my ability was going to be. So, cancel everything. So now I'm back at square one, not really knowing what to do. All I know that I can do is file an appeal. I'm just going to see what happens from there. My other surgery for the right arm is still on the books. I think the plan is to just continue to go as planned, and just see and hope that it shakes out in the interim. I'm looking into maybe some secondary insurance. Some good advice from a friend who's had to navigate the insurance / healthcare system as well. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. No surgery yet. As far as what I'm feeling on a regular basis, I'm back at school now. This is the second full week. My hands are constantly in some state of pain, weakness, numbness, Just some level of that all the time. Some days are better than others. Some days are worse. It just varies day to day depending on what I've done or how much playing I've had to do. I've been figuring out a way to not have to use my hands so it works out. So, yeah. That's kind of it. Right now, hands not necessarily in pain, a little tingly, like sensations feel different. There's been a couple nights this week that my pinkies have gone like completely numb, like the feeling that you get like when you fall asleep on your hands, or like when your arm or appendages fall asleep, that feeling in my pinkies, and have woken me up. I've had a couple nights where my middle finger and index finger are like throbbing, just randomly on a whim. Wake me up, shake it out, pop some ibuprofen, and it's a different kind of pain. So ibuprofen doesn't always work for this type of inflammation, at least for me. So kind of where I'm at, just kind of navigating. Still using my topical CBD. That helps. It gets me through the day. Got me through my last few gigs. Just grease up a little bit, like an hour before. I'm usually good for about 4 hours, so enough time to get to my gig, set up, and play and break down. Well, yeah. It's kind of where we're at. Side note, I love cheesecake. Cheesecake is really good. It makes me happy. That's why I'm eating cheesecake right now. Jillian bought me a variety pack on a whim, and I appreciate it. And she's been the best support system. Listening to me complain about my pains, all my ailments, offering support, sharing in my woes, all the things. So makes the suffering not as bad having her here to hang out with me. Anyway, that's it. I'll keep y'all posted if anything new shakes out in the next couple weeks. Fingers crossed for good vibes with this appeal and conservative approaches, if you will. All right, peace out.